Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We had a little bit of a recording snafu. Rather than waste everyone's time, we're going to continue where we're going. If you've seen one, you've seen all of our sessions. And so you know the rules, you know the guidelines, and you know that we're all here to help each other out. Finishing up our rules, post links. Everybody needs to work together to share what they know. If you do share a question and you want to share something from your orgs, please make sure that you don't share anything that's proprietary or private. Since we are recording, we don't want that in the ether. We want everyone to be protected, but share your dev orgs, share your sandboxes, share your obfuscated data, and let's keep it fun, informal, and professional. And last and not least, I said it twice, let's say it one more time, we're recording. All right. Community events coming up. You can always check these out on salesforce.com/events. There's one in Montreal going on right now, but upcoming is Mile High Dreamin'. Dreamforce is right around the corner. Florida and Life Sciences Dreamin' are coming up in October. Anything in the next month and a half that we missed? I did this.
I will add Cactus Force is in January, and they're not open for speakers yet, but they are open for sponsors. And so Cactus Force is January something, and I don't have the date in front of me, but if you are in a position to sponsor a conference, Cactus Force is offering 2024 pricing for 2025's conference. Marissa Hamilton, I think, is who's running that one. Fun times, right?
Thank you.
I am sure that you missed some. I attended the community group leader call the other day, and one of their last slides was, here's all the community events that we know about, and it took up almost 2 slides. So there's no way that you have listed on this tiny.
Well, that might be
tiny
what's coming, right? But
yeah.
we only went through the end of the year, and I just mentioned Cactus Force because it's January.
You're awesome. You're awesome. So I just wanted to say, we have so many opportunities for you to be a leader, be a participant, volunteer. Like reach out, and there's going to be something event either in your vicinity or nearby or whatever. It's just an amazing environment to live in right now.
Yeah, definitely. And one other thing I'll offer, Stuart, that I think we all know this, but if you're watching this recording, the community is only as good as the community, and it starts with all of us. So find a way to connect as an attendee, as a presenter, as something, just because at the bare minimum, it just moves the needle a little bit for all of us. So great call out. All right. Resource Hall of Fame. We need to come up with a better way to publish this. I just had someone reach out and ask me if I could just send them this slide, which I was like, well, yeah, why don't we make this a little bit more accessible? But
which one? This one?
Yeah, this one.
Our upcoming events?
No.
Oh, resources. No, I've got too many screens going on. It's not you.
Yeah.
So, well, you know what we can do is we can put these links in the community group.
You definitely could.
Give me a minute.
Not right now, though. All right. And now we're off to the races. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we had no emails and no posts in success that I saw. So the floor is open for any questions or concerns or topics that our friendly neighborhood MVPs want.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No one had any questions this week?
It's just such a good 2-week window that everybody solves all their problems.
I love it. Y'all are just killing it.
Like how it got on there. I do want to know how the rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock link got on there.
Yeah, I think that was a Dale reference, wasn't it?
Michael Klodner and Dale were talking about that for a while, I think.
I was just, okay, good. It was a discussion that became the link.
It became a whole thing. It did. It really did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, all right. So maybe y'all saw my LinkedIn post. I got to see Squire in person last week.
Which was in person.
Which was such a great, it was a lot of fun. I saw Stuart, I saw you in Minneapolis. And I saw Christy in Ohio, and I saw Andrew at Midwest Dreamin', and I saw Linda in Ohio, and Jana, I think I saw you at a couple different places, Portland, and Andrew I've seen all year everywhere. So it's been a wild little like all sorts of people all the time. But we noticed that our little LinkedIn post yesterday with the picture of Squire and I got a lot more traction than any of the other MVP office hour posts in the past. And so we're going to have to feature some more photos of folks. That's just how it's going to have to be. But let's see, where are the
And I turned on my radio this morning and I heard Joy laughing and talking and
oh my God, you're talking about the podcast.
and interviewing our friend Kelly, who I had Kelly Walker as one of our first guests when we did lightning migration workshops in the Twin Cities way back when. And I remembered that so well, and then hearing you laugh and talk with her, I just thought, wow, it's just like the good old days. And then that made me feel old, which has nothing to do with Salesforce at all.
All right, thanks, Stuart, for that podcast. That podcast mention, I appreciate that. All right, Catherine, you have a question. You put a little chat in the chat.
I went to I joined virtually.
You did
to the
when we saw Squire. When we saw Squire, you joined virtually, and
Yes.
So Catherine's question is about a presentation that we had from Allison Park about practical governance. Jana, you might have seen her present it at Tahoe Dream, or not Tahoe. Where do we go? Forcelandia, on practical governance. And so I can work on getting those slides for you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I 100% talked to my IT team and was like, oh, well, this is something we should start doing and start thinking about from a budget standpoint, which I've got them hooked. Now I want to show them some of those slides to see if we can actually hire someone.
Let me make it. I'm going to practical governance to Catherine. Also, maybe that's a reminder to get us our stuff updated for the Chicago community group. I'm so sorry. We'll get that. All right, so practical governance, and then Rochelle and Christy have questions.
Yeah.
Rochelle, you're up.
Hi, Joy. Hi, everybody. I brought a situation that to the group that I don't know if anyone can help. We have a new sales director who has all these ideas, and as he constantly starts his conversations, my brain is always working. So here goes. He wants to create a secondary opportunity object, and basically he wants to have two different kinds of opportunities in our system. One is an opportunity for regular stock items, that kind of thing, and the other one is for when we actually create a brand new object or a new package. And this opportunity is just going to be a page that is available to a certain group of salespeople. I've provided them record page types, but he wants a completely different opportunity page, and he's calling this opportunity page sales projects opportunities versus just regular opportunities. I created the object for him. I put in the fields that he wanted. The issue I'm having, and I've spent hours on this, is how to create the opportunity product field at the top of the opportunity to add in the products, quantities. We have it tied to the price book and the product book. And I really can use somebody who has way more experience than I do on doing something like this.
Can I say something?
Go for it, Linda.
I would totally push back and say that's what record types exist for, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel on another object. Because what he's asking you to do that is going to take a lot. And you're not going to get the same experience that you get off of the regular opportunity, no matter what you do and what you try.
See, that's really the
And
biggest...
I get that he doesn't want it, but he also now not only can't use the products but the same way, but can't do forecasting the same way from it. or
Mhm.
really track history off the same thing.
Yeah.
And I get he's probably an idea person and he likes to solution with his ideas. Give him time and like literally say, hey, let's meet and let's talk about some of your ideas and get them down so then I can think on them and come up with better solutions for you.
Okay.
And to allow you to kind of figure out what do each of these things say and what goes into each of these things in part, so you can really give him so here are the things that you told me, some of the ideas you had, here's the level of effort that they will take either to do the way you suggested, or here's an alternative that maybe the level of effort's a little more reasonable and we can get it to you sooner.
I'm also wondering, do you have a sandbox where you could create what he's asking for using the standard opportunity object in the state in a sandbox environment?
I
And
am
then-
working in I'm working in a full sandbox for this project. Mhm.
Yeah,
Excellent.
because I would build it. I would build it the way you think it should be built and then show it to him. So build, the two different record types, two completely different page layouts. The stages can be different based on the record type,
Yeah.
I think once
Yeah,
you show him.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did this. I did not promote it, but our org did this as well. They had two different ways of selling. Their advisors did, and so they created two different objects called opportunities, and thought, well, this is great. This is a way to solve a problem. What they didn't think about was what happens 2 years down the road. What was the big problem? The big problem was that Salesforce uses the amount field, the standard field called amount, for specific things. And people have talked about it in the call already, like forecasting, but also like doing splits. How do you do a split on an opportunity if you're not using the correct amount field? And you'd have to build it yourself. So what you're doing by creating your own opportunity object is now you're forcing your team to build all of the functionality that Salesforce has already built for you, such as opportunity splits, such as forecasting, such as reports, such as price book entry, all that stuff that links to opportunities. And you get, if you use opportunities and record types and that sort of thing.
Leads.
Lead to opportunity transfer, like all of this stuff that Salesforce has already built for you and you're paying the license for, you are giving up by creating a new object called opportunity 2 or whatever. Now you have to build in all of that new functionality that comes with those fields that are standard fields in an opportunity. And we do that, but we also pay for that. We have to pay developers who work for us to build in all this new functionality, and we constantly are in technical debt because we have to keep each opportunity type in order. It's a mess. It's chaos. I would never recommend it.
Well, I'm glad that I brought this up because I was asked to do this 2.5 years ago, and I was very much like, this just isn't going to work. And now that we have this new person who has a business systems degree but not Salesforce, things it work. I just want to ask one really quick question. What I've proposed in the past is use an object called project manager or a project management object for these type of projects. That's not exactly the same as an opportunity, but it's someplace that people can put their milestones and
Sure, Rochelle.
do that kind of thing.
Rochelle, is your company selling the project?
Yes.
So there's the sales process and then there's the project, right? Those are different things. And I think that you're right. A project manager tool would definitely work for you in that fashion. But I think it's important to keep those two separate, right?
Yes.
They can still sell the project with the opportunity, with a new opportunity record type. And then you can, when that project opportunity record type is closed one, you could kick off creating the project
Yes.
with all the milestones and whatnot.
Distinction is the project though the selling it is like just are you saying that the project is the selling it or the project is like the delivery after sale? Because I don't think Rochelle it was clear.
Okay.
Because like that's
So-
an important thing for what Joy was saying.
So the project is actually building with the customer the exact item they're looking for to their specifications. Once that the project is complete, a PO is then received for the orders against it. So
The
you-
project is the sale.
Yes. So once that the customer has accepted the project as successful and everything's a go, then we get orders which we actually apply to the opportunity. We use the opportunities for kind of an order entry, and then we actually have people enter. Once a project is accepted, then it becomes like a standard product. So during the stages where a project starts with a salesperson and ends with a sale, we've always used opportunities, and that's why he wants something called sales projects opportunities to run alongside regular opportunities. I think a better thing is, and I wanted to ask the group if anybody knows or can recommend maybe an app that is already created for project management. Instead of rebuilding all these fields and stuff, then maybe we can actually then use an app for project management.
There's a couple tools. Salesforce Labs has a couple tools in the App
Okay.
Exchange, and I'm seeing a lot of heads nod. It's almost comical, like watching all of you. It's like yes. You can check that out and see what fits your needs, without reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, I'm always, I'll be honest, I'm a fairly new admin. I've been in this role for 3 years, but I've been in Salesforce for over 10.
Mhm.
And I'm always worried about getting tied in with an app out there
Sure.
that either A, the price keeps going up, or B, in one of our cases, the company went bankrupt and we basically was left hanging with
Right.
bits and parts. So I wanted to find out if anybody
Sure.
has an app that they love for this purpose.
Sure. Salesforce Labs is, built by folks that work at Salesforce.
Yes.
And they're free for the,
Yes.
I'd say for the most part. There might be one or two out there that they charge for, but I don't even think that's true. So check those out. And then, I think there's a lot of research in your future, Michelle.
Yeah. Can I add one last thing to this? I think I'm not sure if you're looking on camera or not, Rochelle. Everybody's nodding and smiling, but they're also pained because you're describing something I think all of us have had to deal with at one point or another. And I want to make sure that the message as far as the opportunity thing is like we've all done that. Everything Stuart added, everything Andrew added, everything that Linda added is great. I think maybe your stakeholder needs to hear something else as well, which is sometimes it's not we shouldn't or there's better ways. It's remind them like our investment in Sales Cloud includes leveraging the tooling that's there, not rebuilding it because you have a need that you describe as a want. So your need can be achieved leveraging the licensing we have and the tools we have, not reinvent the wheel. Like there's part of it is like the technical, like we shouldn't, and then there's the business case of and we should not, right? So make sure that you're coming at it from both sides. Otherwise it can be really resistant. It's like, oh, the developer won't help me. That's not the message here, right?
At Dreamforce, just to add on to what Squire's saying, at Dreamforce, when I have my my yearly meeting where I sit down with the vendors and the partners that I like to sit down with, and I'll ask them a question of what's the hardest thing that you had to do this year? What was the toughest customer that you had this year? 9 out of 10 times, the answer I will get from them is, we had a customer that for whatever reason decided to create another account object or another contact object. And here was their rationale. And they went on to say they thought they could create another account to object because of their special scenario, their
Mhm.
special snowflake thought that they needed that. When in all reality, it messed up their database, and we had to go in and spend another 120 hours pulling out all that technical debt and rebuilding their database. And the same goes with opportunity. If I just fear that you're going to be one of these Dreamforce subjects where they say, yeah, we had to go in and pull out this opportunity 2 object because they thought they needed it. In all reality, they didn't. So I'd take a lot of caution about building another object of something you already have.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's you summed it up. And we are right now working, we finally got the okay to get a developer, and we are literally building everything from scratch for the specifications of this new sales manager. And it's all I could say is I I wonder who they're gonna have update this stuff at the end of the year, because it ain't gonna be me. You know, so
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody's help and insight, and I always appreciate the honest feedback I get here, because it sometimes makes me feel like I'm in a position where if I say no, it's thought of as you don't know how to do it.
Right.
And that's always a hard thing. It's not that I don't know how to do it. I just don't think it's best practice to do some of the things that these harebrained ideas that people want to do. So I do appreciate your feedback, and thank you so much. This group is awesome.
Good job. All right, Christy, you were next, I think.
Yep. Okay. Everybody on Service Cloud, get your listening ears ready. Maybe you can help me.
Mm.
I wasn't going to share, but okay. So for a new record type on case, we're turning on skill-based routing for a particular team. There's like 4 people. I'm in a sandbox. I'm testing it. I've assigned her the Service Cloud. We have a console. I've assigned permissions. I've done the skills. I've done the service resources. I'm using skill-based routing rules, which I've never done before. And I can see when I run a query, we've got the pending routing record sitting there, but she's not getting any. And so I'm testing it, and I'm wondering, what am I missing? So has anyone dealt with that where you go, oh yeah, I forgot to turn on this thing?
She has the skills assigned with the right level that she would be given it.
I gave her skill levels in my testing as 3 and 5 right now. I'm just randomly making some stuff up. And the skill routing rules, skill levels, I've got them at 1 or 2 because I'm like, well, her skills are higher. So I don't know, do they have to match exactly or not?
Do you have to have 1, 2, and 3 to get 1, 2, and 3, or do you have to have 3 to get 1, 2, and 3, Linda?
It depends on how you set up the rule. But the other end of that is, even when you're doing skills-based routing, isn't there some level of it that's still looking at capacity?
And their capacity is 1, and each unit is 1. And this person that I'm using, Tammy, as my example in my sandbox, because I'm in the dev sandbox, she has nothing in her name. And I even just cleared out the cache this afternoon, like, okay, let's just start over. And then I'm sending in an email, and it's pending in the skills backlog, and she's logged in and available and getting nothing.
It's not routing to her.
For those who don't know and are still trying to catch up, I'm going to put a link in the chat so that for us newbies, us kindergartners, can follow along with Christy's problem. How does skill-based routing work? And what does skill-based routing differ from queue-based routing, which is the opposite of skill-based routing? And and that article actually does kind of walk through at a high level when routing via skill-based routing. Here's what it looks for.
Cool.
I'm also trying to catch up with this. I know that in the last 3 releases, the release notes have talked about updates or changes to skill-based routing. I've been tracking that, but how this is going to affect us, I can't say for sure.
And could that problem be something from the latest release affecting? Because I don't know what to tell you there either.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
I'm
it's,
hoping
it's
somebody
I
else on the
tried to do
call
it
has
the
used it, but
simplistic
it's,
way without creating an Omni flow for it.
I feel like it should work. Like, I'm just not remembering something. And the one person I'd go to, I know, is on vacation.
I don't think you need a flow and unless it's so complicated. But if you're just setting it up initially, I don't think you need the flow.
And that's what my senior developer who's off the rest of this week was saying when I was doing this story, because our developers have some pretty heavy lifting they're doing right now. And so I'm taking on some other stories. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm doing it without any flow and it's not seeming to work.
Your team has to have the skills that you're assigning
Mhm.
for
And
sure.
then Simon has to be there, but I can't remember which order it goes in. I would try a few different scenarios with where that skill falls in and the levels, just to
Yeah.
see if it's the level thing. But I really
Okay,
don't
I can
feel
play
like
with
it
levels.
is.
Play with levels.
And there is a capacity thing there too, because even in this article it talked about if the agent with the highest skill isn't available. So there is a capacity level
Well,
here. And then
availability though is a status thing in Omni. Like they're either, you know, they have to be logged in and set themselves as available.
Mhm. And I'm only
Um,
logging in as one user right now because
Yeah.
I can do multiple users to test bigger scenarios. But if the one person on the team is logged in and available and still not getting any, then I have a bigger.
Yeah, and the only thing I remember from the last time I set one of these up was capacity wasn't just a measure of what is like live coming through. It's also just anything they're assigned.
Yeah.
So if they have other cases that are open and not closed, those count against their capacity.
Yeah, earlier today, before I asked you guys, I closed out every other case of the record type in our sandbox that we were doing. I'm like, okay, let's just
Not
wipe.
just by record type.
Okay, but this
I
team
know.
she only is part of a queue for that record type. So
Understood, but sometimes that can affect it.
Mm.
It's not supposed to, but that doesn't mean it doesn't.
okay, I will see. Then I will check also if there's any case in her name at all. Got it. Thank you.
Luck.
And just to add on this, I know this is not your problem, Chrissy, but channels also, if you're using omnichannel, channels is also a issue here. I had a conversation with Salesforce earlier this week where we use Live Agent, we use bots and Live Agent internally between advisors and our call center agents. And the current version of Live Agent is going to be deprecated. I hope I'm not saying anything that I shouldn't be saying. In like February 2026, I believe. And so there's a whole new version of enhanced messaging that they've introduced that, but in that discussion, there was this whole talk about, well, how this also, because it's a channel, it's a omni-channel channel, like all the other channels, that this also affects the capacity of an agent. Not only is it what record type, but also what channel are they assigned to and that sort of thing.
Is it capacity by channel? And the reason I'm asking that is when I was logged into Omni Supervisor to play with it and look at it from that side, she's got text turned on, but the little chat thing, and I'm like, where is that? Because I haven't signed her up for that. So now I'm looking at, hierarchy granting and everything else, and I haven't found where she was assigned any messaging.
And then the only other thing I would also try, if it's if there's a chance it's permissions on some object related to Omni for her profile, is try giving her temporarily a much more broadly, granted profile of stuff to see if that allows it to assign to her.
Yeah, Lynn, if you want to reach out on that, and the only reason I say it is the org does have public read write for cases. And I did assign the statuses, the present statuses via a permission set, not
Correct.
profile this
Correct.
time. So,
And that should
uh,
be fine. I just worry about like sometimes there's weird stuff about object access around Omni. That if she
Okay.
doesn't have the right objects assigned to her permission set or profile.
that's something I have not looked into yet. That's another idea. Thank you. Okay. I will look into that too.
Service Cloud is fun, especially when you get into Omnichannel. There's a lot of fun stuff there.
Or bots. Bots are fun.
Bots are fun.
Bots are fun.
Messaging is fun. It's a lot of fun stuff.
We have it all set up, but I wasn't in charge of most of that. That was some other people. on the project. Thank you.
All right, unless I missed one, I think Clayton had some questions. Did I skip anyone before we jump over? Silence is golden, so why don't we go to Clayton then?
Good afternoon.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I am. Why do you
It's, it sounded like I knocked everything off my desk. That's why. It was like, all right. It's just me.
Hey, I can always come and get a good laugh. Joy. We had 3 fields that have been required when the system was set up. I went in, I made sure the fields do not have the requirement anymore at the field level in the object. Made sure that the page layout and the lightning page do not have required fields. But when I go to select new, the system's still showing them as required. And I can't seem to figure out why.
You said you removed them from the page layout and or the requirement from the page layout?
I removed them from the object. You know, you can make a field required within the object. You can do it on the page layout, and then you can do it within the lightning page.
Yeah, I would ask if there's any automation that's requiring it, like Squire just said a validation rule or God forbid a process builder or you know, something like that. Have you checked automations?
I've checked for validation rules, and I did not find them. I actually went through and numbered every validation rule to see if that message came out, and it didn't. And then I checked the process builder, which they would have been using before I got involved, and I couldn't find anything.
Where does the error show up? Sometimes that's indicative of why it's failing.
When I go to enter an opportunity, like when I'm entering it, and I'm kind of going down through it right now. See if I can get it up on the screen. Sorry.
Yeah, let me stop sharing and then you can share it.
Okay.
Not always, but sometimes the way the error pops up can help you figure out like, oh, that's coming from a whatever, an Apex class that's failing or a who knows. So
Okay, let's see if I can get that up. Sorry.
that's okay.
So my first question, you're not seeing the little red asterisk by the fields, right?
Right.
Okay.
So
Well, they're not on the page layout, so you wouldn't see.
No, he
the
said he removed the required part of it, not the actual field.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what he wrote, and then when he talked, it was slightly different.
Sometimes my
So can
fingers say
you
different
see my
things.
screen?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Can you see we hit a snag?
Yep.
And there's those 3 fields.
Does it
That's
only
all.
happen in the modal, or does it happen if you're editing, if you create a record from scratch? Like
This is only when I create one from scratch.
yeah,
It-
okay.
Is it a dependent pick lists or?
That's the next, yeah, like,
Yeah, that I'm not actually sure about. Let me jump over.
because like if you open any one of those fields and then do the where is this used, you might be able to sneak up on what's connected to it as well.
I love Squires like out there, like looking for squirrels or something.
Yeah, click the button, see what happens. That list of 407 objects, it's great. It's useful. Not really, but sometimes.
Yes, I mean, would anything be maybe left over from like Classic or anything?
Oh, wait, go back. Actually, go back. Cancel. Yeah. There's a where is this used button at the top. It's edit set
Yep.
fields. Yep, click on that. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's a lot.
No more. Even though it
No.
only took up 6 rows, there's a more.
Yeah, the more arrow down and the more under the
You would
list
think they would just load the full page worth, you know.
on the bottom.
Keep
Bottom,
going.
middle,
Yeah.
blue hyperlink.
A little to the right, a little middle. There you go. Andrew thinks there's more. He's probably right.
There wasn't.
No.
Or
Wait.
just as a clickable thing with nothing.
Yeah.
That's good.
So you've got the 4 report types. You've got the
Mhm.
layout, and you've got
Report
the 4.
types won't make it
No.
required.
And the
Layouts and
4
Flexa pages if he's taken care of. What about the new button on that object? Is it still using the standard functionality
Or is it a
was something
custom?
custom created?
From what I can gather, it's still using the new standard.
So not from where you click the button, literally set up on that object, you should be able to see the new button there and see whether it is using
Okay.
standard
Did you mean
functionality.
the user screen or back to the
Um,
object?
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
go back to the opportunity and the buttons, links, actions, and look for new.
I see that. I would also go look at the fields itself again.
Yeah,
No, it's got the standard. There's nothing.
there's no override there, right?
Can,
Right,
can you
yeah.
can you go back to the field and relationships and we look at that field one more time?
Is it weird that some of those are listed twice? Does it?
Not if they built custom to do the override and they left, but I didn't see a second new.
No, I'm talking about the where it's used. Like the FlexiPlay pages were listed twice. Like maybe it's more than once showing up.
Their name could be the same.
Yeah. So open up, where is this used again?
This is an opportunity. I'm not sure if I follow.
The button
I mean,
that
it's
says where
used
is
on-
this used? Just click it.
Yeah, go ahead and do the where is this used again. In that list, each one of those links will take you to where it's still being used. And so I would control click each one of those open and see what it tells you, because maybe you took it off of one, but not all, and it's still fighting with you for some reason.
Like the FlexiPage field instance where it says pricing opportunity page, are there 2 or is there 1 because it's a reference label, not the API name? I don't know.
Oh, if it's a dynamic page, potentially you could have pasted the field in twice.
There's that too.
That's true.
Or even or custom visibility. Would custom visibility?
Make
No,
it required? No. it
No.
shouldn't.
Like open up either one of those top 2 in a new tab. Leave this here. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
Ooh, DocuSign approver. Here we come.
Uh-oh.
And then is the other one take you to a different version? Like, do you have a version 5 and a version 6 or something?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's required in a
We're
DocuSign.
kind of new to, so right now I've got one live, and then this is a different one for sales. And these are all older versions.
I'll be
Are
okay.
the older versions possibly assigned to like profiles and record types, and that you don't see them as the org default or something. And maybe that's what's showing.
But that would show under the other assignments.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, so he'd see it. He's only got the 2 layouts that are actually assigned out there at all.
Do you have a sales path set up for this record type?
Yeah.
How many of you really want to get your fingers on this org yourself and just start spinning? Yep. I don't even know where I want to go yet.
Hey, it's a evolution.
That's right.
Our skill set and what was before me.
So
Practical governance and all sorts of things. Let's
I
see.
think you should add those 3 fields you're getting an alert on back to the layout, because I think they'll be more indicative of what the error is. So like right now, it doesn't know where to put the messages. So it's putting it in that pop-up, but if they're in the layout, they should show up next to the layout. And then you might know more.
Okay. Well,
They
they
don't-
should be. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You'd only see the errors by the fields if it was a validation rule error, and that's where.
I guess what I'm saying is like, but if it is actually required and we miss something, you can't see it if it's not on the page or on that modal.
So here's another suggestion to try importing a record.
Okay.
Because if it's a case of those are required on create, you will get a different error message on an import than you will from the screen just saying that these are required and not there.
And basically it is using the new, so it's going to use the standard page layout, correct?
It'll use the default defined to the user.
Okay.
You only have 1 record type? You must. It's not asking you for one before you start, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Looks like my machine's kind of locked up.
Too many clicks.
There we go. Yeah, the fields are actually still in the page layout, which is
But not
what's
on the
kind of
create.
weird about it.
Not on the create modal though, right?
Yeah, actually they are.
Oh.
So, and then when it comes back, I know this is probably painful for you guys to watch.
No, that's all right. We all can't wait to help. We'll be patient and wait.
I'm waiting for Joy to throw stuff off her desk.
No, when you came off mute, it sounded like I just like pushed everything off my desk, and I was like, "Whoa, what's happening?"
All right, so if I go down and go to the fields. Okay, commodity type, pallets, ship to state. Now, if I do a save, it tells me that.
If you click on commodity type, what does it do for you? Takes you
Comes
to the
back,
field.
and gives them,
Yeah.
shows them as.
Now those have
Now they
those
have the stars on them.
stars.
They didn't before.
Yep.
There's stars on ours.
So for whatever reason, those fields are required.
But before I clicked on them, there were no stars.
Weren't.
Does that mean there's a validation either on the record or on the form? That only kicks in once you hit save?
Is it an after save flow? That's crazy talk.
Yeah, but would it take you here?
That-
Even if it was after save flow? That should be like a.
That wouldn't
toast,
show
right?
you the asterisk.
If you have a dynamic form, you could have the field on it twice, and you could have it dynamic based on some other field that you have. I have some places where I'll put like the field twice and it'll only be required, or it might be read only based on another field. So the field's on a dynamic form multiple times to do different things and make it show in different ways. And it looks like this is using dynamic forms in the new create, which I've never figured out what makes it dynamic forms or not for the
Yeah.
new button. I've given up with trying to figure it out.
I
Don't
think
give up.
that's why
Don't give
we're
up,
seeing
Andrew.
two flexi page components in that list. I think you're right, Andrew, that there's a dynamic component in there that is checking something.
Can we just edit the dynamic form page? You
Should
open
be
it,
able to.
edit, and just go to an existing record.
Oh, yeah.
And then just click the gear and then click edit page.
Be there, computer. Be there.
I know,
Oh,
right?
All right, cool. We're all willing it into existence.
Control F and you can put in the name of the field.
There's definitely, no, 2, and that's 2 right there.
Oh, I click. Yeah, click on C.
See? None. None, not required.
Can you
Not
scroll up to the
required.
top? Do you maybe have 2 sections?
Or in a different tab.
With a
That
different
was-
tab. Because I did
Like
make it.
pricing,
Wait,
pricing
what's that?
details or you've got
Yeah,
some-
actually, I haven't finished working on this one.
yeah, press enter on that
Looks like
search
the whole
again on that find.
duplicated. Take it out of that, or look at that one.
Hey.
Yep, it's right there.
Ah,
Nice job, Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah.
so basically, even though I'm working on the one, because it's
It's
still
in
in
the
there.
it's in the back end of it saying that, hey, somewhere it's required.
Dynamic forms doesn't know how to handle the new pop-up has no clue how to do dynamic forms. Like I said, I have absolutely no clue what makes stuff pop up or what, but this also now makes me think that's a really bad design if it just
Yeah.
pulls all the places it is and throws it all onto the new create page.
That's odd that you can't isolate your dynamic form to a specific tab. That it just says it's here. Okay.
Hey,
we're
you
gonna
know what?
Require it.
Hey, look at this. It's a required field. It's now missing from the page. So it's required. Required.
Well, and for the dynamic forms, I had a friend who would do this a lot, hiding the sections she didn't want to show on new to name
Mhm.
not equal to blank. And then it doesn't show up on new at all on a dynamic form. So doesn't
Would
help
be
him.
cool if
It
there's
does
just
help
a-
him.
This,
A
is,
nice
this is
option
like
to do
this
it.
is like the feel good wrap up of the call today. I like it. I like it. I like it. So Clayton, are you ready to go with this then? You feel prepared?
Yeah, I can just kind of create one and let you guys get on. And
Well, get
I'll-
on. I
I'll
mean,
try it.
I don't have my watch on, but I'm looking at my watch.
Joy's got
Um,
desks to clear. So
All right. Well, I'm gonna try it. And, I'll let you know.
And I would
like
bet if you jump back to that field list and now you're gonna see the difference in the where this is used referencing too. So yeah, this is all gonna work together for you.
Mhm.
Yep.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Okay.
Good teamwork, everybody.
Woo-woo. Yeah, we were all pained, Clayton. Like
Andrew
you-
just
you-
gave himself a gold star.
Yeah, he did. Of course he did. Of course he did. Someone's got to. I mean, I can't reach him from here. The
You've got to have a role to give out.
you go like this and you get all the, come on, what am I getting? Fireworks? What am I getting? I don't know. Sometimes I get stuff, sometimes I don't. Andrew's got his. There you go.
Nice.
So that's it, right, Squire? That's
That's it.
it.
We helped a lot of people and we're
Yeah.
clapping lots of virtual high fives today.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We're so glad you visited us today, and we'll see you in 2 weeks or so. And you know, look I don't know, look for us everywhere. I'll be at Dreamforce. So if anyone else is at Dreamforce, make sure you say hi. Don't be shy. I have a really hard time like putting faces and names with context, and so like tell me, like be like, Joy, you know me from this. and I will click in eventually. And all that good stuff. Where else are we going, Squire?
Well, I don't want to be recorded where I'm going, but
That's okay. That's okay. I'm trying to think of where else I'm going. Oh, I'm going to Ohio for a training, and then I'm going to go to Florida Dreaming too. So, Allison, am I going to see you?
Oh, yes.
Yay!
Yay! Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you, Joy. You just made my Friday.
Yeah. So we'll see everybody on the next Whirlwind Tours, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks or so. All right, bye friends. Bye friends. Stuart, what are you giggling about? Stuart, I'm coming to Minneapolis to bother you again.
I'm going to LinkedIn Learning for training.